Let us start the class today. Are you all able to hear me? Can you
Yes,
hear
sir.
me, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Good, very good. So, let us start discussing about the discussion. In the last period, my dear students, we have studied about the positioning of the various carbons. So when we look at the various positions, you can see that. Can you see the screen, my dear students? All of you, can you see the screen?
Yes, sir.
What
Yes.
is
Yes,
written? Can you read something on your screen that is written?
Beta, alpha,
Beta,
halogen.
alpha, and halogen.
Okay, okay. So that's what you can see easily, no problem. So you can see that the halogen, if we look at the alkyl halide, and if we realize, we can see that the halogen which is bonded to the carbon, such carbon is known as the alpha carbon, and the neighboring carbon to this carbon is known as the beta carbon. This is how we studied about the alpha carbon and beta carbon, my dear students. Now we want to study about a reaction which is an elimination reaction. This is what it is known as the beta elimination reaction. So in this reaction, my dear students, we realize that there is a removal of hydrogen atom from the beta carbon, and that is why such reaction is known as the beta elimination reaction. What are the requirements for this beta elimination reaction? So the first requirement is there must be hydrogen present. There must be hydrogen present on the beta carbon. And second one is that there should be attack of good base which is available for the attack. Now we can move. So you can see here uh, how base attacks. So you can see that we have an alkyl halide. In this alkyl halide, we have alpha carbon and beta carbon. On alpha carbon, we have halogen bonded. On beta carbon, we have hydrogen. So base B with electron pair comes and attacks on hydrogen. So the electron of this carbon hydrogen uh, goes to make the double bond between these two carbon. The bond CX, these two electron of CX bond is taken away by the halogen, and this is how this BH compound, that is the base and hydrogen compound, the leaving group X minus, and an alkene having double bond between two carbon is formed. You can see here that one hydrogen is eliminated from beta carbon and halogen is eliminated from alpha carbon, and that is why this kind of reaction is known as the beta elimination reaction. Now we are going to study the beta elimination reaction for 2-bromopentane. You can see in 2-bromopentane, we have one alpha hydrogen, one alpha carbon with which bromine is bonded, but it has two beta carbon. So as it has two beta carbon, there are two hydrogen that can be removed. Now the question arises that which hydrogen should be removed? So which hydrogen should be removed, or base should attack on which carbon? So here in 2-bromopentane, the base can come and then the base can attack, my dear students. The base can attack the carbon which is the at the end of the carbon at the end of the compound, or the carbon which is present in between the carbon compounds. So here we have we have two type of beta carbon. One beta carbon is bonded with one carbon, whereas this second beta carbon is bonded with two other carbon. This carbon is bonded with one carbon and two carbon. This carbon is bonded with only one carbon. So now the question arises that which one should prefer? Base should attack on which hydrogen? The hydrogen that is present on carbon which is bonded to one carbon, or base should attack to the hydrogen which is bonded to the carbon which is bonded to two other carbon. So which carbon or hydrogen base prefer? There was a scientist, his name was Zaitsev or Zaitsev. He said that in such condition, product is such that the carbon involved in the double bond should be bonded to maximum number of carbon. So according to Zaitsev's rule or Zaitsev rule, the base should attack the carbon which is bonded to two other carbon, and base should avoid attacking to the carbon which is bonded to single carbon. So same way here you can understand the reaction, my dear students, that we have 2-bromopentane. In this 2-bromopentane, base will attack the carbon which is bonded to two other carbon, and that is why the double bond is formed between the second and third carbon. And as the double bond is formed between the second and third carbon, we will get pent2-ene as a product. But some of the base also attack on the terminal carbon, and there will be double bond between the first and second carbon, and that is how we may get pent1-ene. But my dear students, the major product, which is almost 81%, is your pent2-ene, whereas the pent1-ene is the minor product, which is hardly formed at almost 19%. So this is what the product pent2-ene is known as the Zaitsev product or Zaitsev product, and this is what it is, the major product for the beta elimination reaction. So my dear students, when a beta elimination reaction takes place, according to the Zaitsev rule, the product is preferred in which there is a double bond between the carbon, which carbon is bonded to more number of carbon. Now we want to study the new topic. The new topic is elimination versus substitution. My dear students, there is always competition for everything. So here also there is a competition between the elimination reaction and substitution reaction. We have an exercise question, that exercise question number 10.20. This exercise question tells us that if we take an alkyl halide, let us say the alkyl halide is your 2-bromopropane. So we have an alkyl halide 2-bromopropane, and this alkyl halide 2-bromopropane undergoes the reaction. It can react with alcoholic KOH, it can react with aqueous KOH. When 2-bromopropane react with alcoholic KOH, my dear students, we get 2-propanol. This 2-propanol is obtained by the substitution reaction. But if 2-bromopropane undergoes the reaction with the, it undergoes the, when 2-bromopropane undergoes the reaction with aqueous KOH, this is the mistake. When the 2-bromopropane undergoes the reaction with the aqueous KOH, this alcohol is obtained as a product. But when 2-bromopropane undergoes the reaction with alcoholic KOH, alkene is the product that is obtained, and this is what it is happens under the elimination reaction. So my dear students, the question arises here that when aqueous KOH reacts with the alkyl halide or haloalkane, why there is substitution reaction takes place, and why do we get alcohol as a product? So in case of the aqueous KOH, my dear students, you can see that KOH dissociate to give us K plus and OH minus. H2O which is also present, that gives us H plus and OH minus. So OH minus is available for the attack. OH minus is a very good or a very strong nucleophile. So that is why on 2-bromopropane, OH minus makes the nucleophilic substitution reaction and we get 2-propanol. This 2-propanol may be obtained either by the SN1 reaction or SN2 reaction. But when it comes to the alcoholic KOH, my dear students, this alcoholic KOH, where KOH is in the non-polar medium. So KOH is present in non-polar medium. In non-polar medium, alcohol gives OR minus. This OR minus is a very strong base, and it can be a very good eliminating reagent. So this strong RO minus cause elimination. So you can see here I have shown you the 2-bromopropane. This RO minus comes and attacks on the hydrogen of a 2-bromopropane terminal carbon. The electron from the CH bond goes for the double bonding, the bromine attached to the carbon moves away by taking the 2 electron as a Br minus. So therefore, the product that we get is ROH, CH2 double bond CH, CH3, which is prop 2 in and Br minus. So my dear students, whenever there is a competition between the elimination and substitution, you can easily understand that the medium plays an important role. If alcoholic KOH is present, we will get elimination reaction takes place and we will get alkene as a product. But my dear students, if there is aqueous medium, that is polar medium, in this aqueous KOH is present, there will be substitution and we will get alcohol as the product. Now my dear students, we are going to study the reaction with metal. When alkyl halides or allyl halide reacts with metal, they produce a specific kind of compound. Please pay attention to the right corner. Organic compound, that are the carbon compounds, when they react with metal, they give organometallic compound. So here we have a Grignard reagent. The Grignard reagent has a formula RMgX. This RMgX is a general formula for Grignard reagent. This Grignard reagent is also called organometallic compound. Now the requirement for the preparation of Grignard reagent, we need an alkyl halide, we need magnesium metal, and we need dry ether. This alkyl halide, when react with magnesium metal in the presence of dry ether, we get RMgX, which is known as the Grignard reagent. Now preparation of RMgX Grignard reagent. What if water is present? Now during the preparation of Grignard reagent, my dear students, we have seen that we need a dry ether. That means water must not be present during this reaction. But suppose during this reaction, during the preparation of RMgX, what if water is present? Suppose water is present. If water is present, my dear students, Grignard reagent make alkane. So you can see that RMgX reacts with water, it produces RH and MgOH. So if the water remains present during the preparation of Grignard reagent, instead of Grignard reagent present, we get alkane produced. So this is again one idea by which we can prepare alkane from alkyl halide. So using this reaction, we can prepare alkane from alkyl halide. So let us take alkyl halide RH, allow it to react with magnesium metal in the presence of dry ether. We get Grignard reagent RMgX, and let Grignard reagent RMgX allow to react with water, so we can prepare the desired alkane. So this is again a method by which we can prepare alkane from the Grignard reagents. I hope my dear students you understand. Let's move to the next slide. Now we have the next slide, which is again the reaction of alkyl halide with metal. This is what it is known as the Woods reaction that we have studied into the 11th standard. Let us study it. You know, we have RX that reacts with 2Na sodium metal. We have one more molecule or one more molecule of RX. In the presence of dry ether, my dear students, this RX give RR and 2NaX. 2NaX is also produced. So let us understand the same with the example. If you have a bromomethane 2CH3Br plus 2Na in the presence of dry ether, it gives us ethane and 2NaBr. If we have bromoethane and 2 sodium metal in the presence of dry ether, it will give us the butane and 2NaBr. When you look at the example of the Woods reaction, you can see that the product formed are symmetric alkane. So butane and ethane prepared by the Woods reaction are the symmetric alkane. But there is one problem with the Woods reaction. So when the problem arises, when you mix two different type of alkyl halides. So one alkyl halide we have taken is bromomethane, another alkyl halide that we have taken is bromoethane, and we have taken sodium metal in the presence of dry ether. Now in this case, we will get the mixture of ethane, propane and butane. So we can get the product ethane, we can get the product propane, we can get the product butane. This is the mixture of ethane, propane and butane, and this mixture is very difficult to separate. If we try to separate these mixtures in the same amount of money, we can prepare the alkane by some other methods. And that is why, my dear students, Wood's reaction is preferred only to make the symmetric alkanes. Wood's reaction is not preferred to make the unsymmetric alkanes. Now, my dear students, we are going to study about the nucleophilic substitution reaction on aryl halides or haloarenes. When you know that aryl halides or haloarenes are the compound on which halogen is bonded to the phenyl ring or benzene ring. The nucleophilic substitution reaction in aryl halides or benzene ring is difficult. Why is it difficult? It is difficult because there are 5 reasons. Let us look at those 5 reasons that makes the nucleophilic substitution reaction difficult on ARX. You know ARX and nucleophile NU. Suppose here as a X we have taken chlorine. So when you have chlorobenzene, the electrons of chlorine are involved in the resonance of. So as these electrons are involved in the resonance, CCl bond acquires double bond character, my dear students. So this is the second reason. Third reason, ArCl bond and RCl bond. That means aryl halide and alkyl halide bond. In Ar, all the carbon are present which are sp2 hybridized, but in alkyl halide, all the carbon present are sp3 hybridized. So the carbon chlorine bond in aryl halide is sp2c, whereas the carbon chlorine bond in alkyl halide was sp3c. And due to this, my dear students, the bond length when we look at my dear students into the aryl halide or alkyl halide, in aryl halide the bond length is 169 picometer, whereas in alkyl halide the bond length is 177 picometer. So from the previous point you can see that this bond is having the double bond character. This bond is shorter. The electron of chlorine are involved into the aryl ring for resonance, and that is why this bond between ArCl or the bond between the carbon and halogen into the aryl halide is very difficult to be broken. The bond cannot be easily broken. Whereas this alkyl halide bond is long bond and it is easy to break this bond. Apart from that, if aryl halides undergoes the nucleophilic SN1 reaction, it will form the phenyl carbocation Ar plus and Cl minus. This phenyl carbocation is not stable at all. It does not show the resonance stability even. And that is why whenever there is substitution takes place, it follows the SN2 mechanism. Apart from that, in aryl halide, we have aryl group and we have nucleophile to attack. The benzene ring or aryl group itself is very electron rich, and nucleophile is even electron rich. So there is always repulsion between the aryl ring and nucleophile, and that is why even the nucleophilic substitution reaction is difficult on the aryl halides. So my dear students, does the nucleophilic substitution reaction not takes place at all? No, it is not true. Nucleophilic substitution reaction is possible, but it is very difficult. As the nucleophilic substitution reaction is difficult, we have taken chlorobenzene and we want to convert it into the phenol. For that we will take sodium hydroxide and acid, but we need to take very high temperature of 623 Kelvin, and my dear students, we will have to apply around 300 atmospheric pressure. This reaction was first done by Dow scientists, and that is why this process of preparation of phenol from chlorobenzene is known as the Dow process. Here, during the Dow process, there is one intermediate diphenyl ether is also produced, and that is why to avoid the or to get the maximum product according to the Le Chatelier principle, this diphenyl ether is added initially in the reaction mixture so that maximum product can be formed. This reaction is very difficult, but can we make it easier? Can we make this reaction easy? And the answer is yes. We can make this reaction, we can make this substitution easier by adding NO2 group to the aryl halide. So let us take, instead of simple chlorobenzene, let us take para-nitrochlorobenzene. And let us try to do the nucleophilic substitution reaction. When we take para-nitrochlorobenzene and do the nucleophilic substitution reaction, the reaction takes place at normal atmospheric pressure and only 443 Kelvin temperature is needed so that we can get para-nitrophenol. Now suppose we put two nitro compound on it. So we can have ortho and para or 2,4-dinitrochlorobenzene. When we have 2,4-dinitrochlorobenzene, my dear students, the reaction takes place only at 368 Kelvin temperature. And when we have 2,4,6-trinitrochlorobenzene, we don't even need NaOH. If we have only warm water, we get 2,4,6-trinitrophenol. This 2,4,6-trinitrophenol is also known as picric acid, which is yellow colored liquid. So my dear students, what we can say that we can make the nucleophilic substitution reaction for chlorobenzene easier by adding the NO2 group to the benzene ring. This NO2 group to the benzene ring would be added at ortho position or para position. That means it can be added only to the 2 position, 4 position and 6 position. Now, chlorine is electron withdrawing group in nature, but it is ortho-para directed. You have just seen that the nitro group are only added at ortho and para region only, not on the meta region. What is the reason? To understand the reason, let us look at the structure of the chlorobenzene. When you look at the structure of the chlorobenzene, it has 6 carbon, and from first carbon, chlorine is being added. You can see that chlorine has got 6 electrons. Out of this 6 electron, 2 electron goes in the resonance with the benzene ring. So you can see this 2 electron comes here and make double bond with the chlorine. As this 2 electron come here, this double bond electron goes to the second carbon, and there will be negative charge on the second carbon. When the negative charge on the second carbon involves into the resonance, due to the double bond present between the third and fourth carbon, the negative charge is generated on the fourth carbon at para position. Again, when the electron present on the para fourth carbon undergoes for making the double bond between the fourth and fifth carbon, the double bond present between the fifth and sixth carbon goes as a charge on the sixth carbon, and there will be negative charge on the sixth carbon. So you can see, my dear students, that there are negative charges on the various places that we can see, and there will be negative charge present on the 2, 4 and 6 carbon. You can even see that there is an inductive effect present between the carbon and chlorine. The dipole goes from carbon to chlorine because chlorine is more electronegative, and that is why in the chlorobenzene we have 2 effects takes place simultaneously. One is known as the resonance effect, another is known as the inductive effect. My dear students, as we move forward, you can see that when nitro group attacks on the chlorobenzene, it attacks as a NO2 plus. So it is the attack of electrophile. When electrophile attacks on the chlorobenzene, it will definitely go to these carbon which are negatively charged. Let us try to understand the effect of both the inductive as well as the resonance effect. First, let us study about the inductive effect. Inductive effect is a strong effect. It is stronger than the resonance effect, and that is why it is determining the reactivity. That means inductive effect will determine whether the attacking electrophile will react with the chlorobenzene or not. So if the reaction will take place or not, that will be determined by the inductive effect. But resonance effect is a weak effect, and that is why it determines the orientation. That means where this E plus, where this NO2 plus can attack. And you know that, my dear students, that attack, this resonance effect allows the attack on 246 position, because on 246 position, due to resonance, negative charge has already been established, and that is why this E plus when attack, or this NO2 plus when attack on benzene ring, it can attack only on the 2 position, 4 position and 6 position. It cannot attack on the 3 position or 5 position, because there is no negative charge present on 3 position and 5 position. And this is how, my dear students, when electrophile attacks on the chlorobenzene or aryl halide, we get ortho and para product, but meta product is not obtained. And this is how, my dear students, we can understand the various important facts about our electrophilic attacks, and why nucleophilic substitution reaction is difficult for the aryl halides. I hope, my dear students, you have understood everything and you do not have any doubts. Did you understand everything?
Yes, sir.
Very good, very good. Now let us understand the attack of OH on a attack of OH. Now let us look at this. What is something written here? Can you think why does NO2 group show its effect only at ortho and para position and not on meta position? My dear students, we have studied that, you know, the reaction of chlorobenzene to turn into phenol is difficult when it is only chlorobenzene. It becomes easy when it comes to the nitro group. One nitro group is added. When we add 2 nitro group, it becomes even more easier, because 2 nitro group on ortho and para position make it to work at on 368. But when we put 3 nitro groups, the reaction can be done only by warming it with water. But you can see that these nitro groups are present only on ortho or para position. They are not present on meta position. So when they are present on meta position, do they make any difference? And the answer is no. If you put these nitro compounds on meta position, that means either on 3 position or 5 position, they are not going to give any effect, and the reaction will be difficult. So instead of here, instead of, my dear students, instead of taking this orthonitrophenol or paranitrophenol, if we would have taken metanitrophenol, then the same 623 Kelvin and 300 atmospheric pressure would be needed. So why is it so? Why it is not, the attack of OH is difficult when it comes to the meta isomers? To understand this, let us look at this reaction, my dear students, that I am going to show you. Yes, you can see that OH minus attacks on the meta isomer. So when OH minus attacks on the meta isomer, my dear students, these OH and Cl are bonded to same carbon, and there will be negative charge on second carbon. Again, when this negative charge moves, the negative charge goes on fourth carbon and the negative charge goes on sixth carbon, but negative charge does not goes on third carbon, which is the meta position. So this nitro group do not have any facility to stabilize this negative charge present on the carbon. So if nitro group is present on second position, third, fourth position or sixth position, it has facility to stabilize this negative charge of resonance. But as the NO2 group is present on the third position, it is not able to stabilize the negative charge, and that is why the effect of nitro group on meta position is not useful. That is what it is written here, my dear students, that as you show, the presence of nitro group at ortho and para position withdraws the electron density from benzene ring and thus facilitates the attacks of nucleophile on heroine. The carbon thus formed is stabilized through resonance. The negative charge appeared at ortho and para position with respect to the halogen substituents is stabilized by NO2 group, while in case of metanitrobenzene, none of the resonating structure bear the negative charge on carbon atom bearing the NO2 group. Therefore, the presence of nitro group at meta position does not stabilize the negative charge, and no effect on reactivity is observed on the presence of NO2 group on meta position. Now, my dear students, we want to study the electrophilic substitution reaction. I have already explained that due to resonance, the negative charge is possible only on the ortho and meta position. You can see the negative charge ortho, para, meta, and that is why this chlorobenzene is ortho para directing. And as you are aware, my dear students, when chlorobenzene is attacked by chlorine in the presence of anhydrous FeCl3, you will get ortho and para dichlorobenzene. That means 1,4-dichlorobenzene and 1,2-dichlorobenzene. Among these two, due to the steric region, the para product would be major and the ortho product would be minor. When we do nitration, we will definitely get 1,chloro,2-nitrobenzene and 1,chloro,4-nitrobenzene. 1,chloro,4-nitrobenzene is a para product which is more stable due to steric region. Same way, when do the sulfonation with the concentrated H2SO4, we can also use here the oleum H2S2O7. We can get the SO3H group bonded to the ortho position and para position. So we can have the 4-chlorobenzene sulfonic acid. We can have 2-chlorobenzene sulfonic acid. Out of these two, 4-chloro or para product is more stable due to the steric region. Same way we can do the Friedel-Crafts reactions also. Friedel-Crafts alkylation is done in the presence of CH3Cl and anhydrous CHCl3. Friedel-Crafts acylation is done in the presence of CH3COCl and anhydrous AlCl3. When we do the Friedel-Crafts alkylation, we get 1-chloro,2-methylbenzene, or we can even say it is orthochlorotoluene and parachlorotoluene, 1-chloro,4-methylbenzene. Parachlorotoluene is major product because of the steric region. Same way when we do the Friedel-Crafts acylation, 2-chloroacetophenone is produced and 4-chloroacetophenone is produced. 4-chloroacetophenone is major product, my dear students, because the 4-chloroacetophenone has no steric hindrance, but 2-chloroacetophenone has a steric hindrance. Now, my dear students, we have one more thing to understand, that is the reaction of aryl halide with metal. We have already seen about the Wurtz reaction. Here, there is a reaction of aryl halide and alkyl halide both together with the sodium metal. So this aryl halide makes us the benzene. A mixture of aryl halide and alkyl halide and aryl halide gives an alkyl arene when treated with sodium in dry ether and is called the Wurtz-Fitting reaction. So you can easily understand, my dear students, here that whenever we have this kind of reaction, you can use it as or you can always have an example for this. So suppose you have a chlorobenzene. This chlorobenzene, my dear students, when it reacts with this chlorobenzene, when it reacts with the CH3Cl, it will give us toluene as a product in the presence of sodium metal and dry ether. The reaction is very similar to the Woods reaction, just we call it fitting reaction because this aryl halide is added So when two aryl halides, that is what it is known as the fitting reaction, my dear students, when these two aryl halides react with the sodium metal in the presence of a dry ether, we get a diphenyl ether. So two aryl group are bonded together. This diphenyl is also known as biphenyl sometime. And this is how, my dear students, we understand the Woods reaction, Woods fitting reaction, and only fitting reaction. Only fitting reaction contains only aryl halides. Woods reaction contains only alkyl halides. But Woods fitting reaction contains one reactant as aryl halide and another reactant as a alkyl halide, and that is why alkoherin or the benzene ring and alkane group type of products are being formed. Now when we look at the in-text question, my dear students, we can solve this in-text question very easily. You can see that here in this case we need to find out the probability of for SN2 mechanism. We know that, my dear students, for SN2 mechanism the priority is primary, secondary and tertiary. So primary undergoes SN2 mechanism very easily. So out of these two, this is secondary, this is primary, and that is why this will be preferred. Here you can see this is secondary, this is tertiary, so the secondary will be preferred. Here you can see that both are primary. But you can see that this CH3 group is near to Br. But this CH3 group is far. So here, my dear students, the steric region or due to steric region, my dear students, this is preferred as compared to this. Now we can move to the next one. We have a SN1 mechanism. We know that, my dear students, for SN1 mechanism, here we can prefer this. Okay, let's move to the next question. For SN1 mechanism, my dear students, the order is tertiary is greater than secondary is greater than primary. This, if you look, this is tertiary, this is secondary. For SN1 mechanism, this is preferred. This is secondary, this is primary. So